Hi, Tim here with Clive Coffee. We're going to show you how to remove the panels on your Profitec Pro 300. The tools you're going to need today are a 2.5mm Allen wrench and a 3mm Allen wrench, as well as an adjustable wrench. With the machine turned off, we're going to go ahead and remove our water reservoir panel and remove the water reservoir. Set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the drip tray as well, just to make things easy. We're going to start off by removing the top 4 screws on this top panel that's still in place. And again, that's using the 2.5mm Allen wrench. The front part of the panel has the longer screws because there's a thicker part that it attaches to, whereas the back has a slightly shallower screw. So we'll set those aside, and we can take this top panel right off. And now what we'll do is we're going to loosen up our knobs on both sides here, your steam wand and your hot water tap. And ideally you have the machine cooled off. If there's a little bit of steam in there, you'll let that release. And now we can, using our Allen wrench, loosen the bolt at the back. And we'll loosen that up completely. This is going to give us the space to work with to get this front panel out of the way. At this point, we're going to switch to the 3mm Allen wrench. And there are 2 screws at the very bottom here. You'll see them if you look right underneath here. We're going to remove these 2. And now we can remove the 2 screws at the back of this front panel. Just reaching right in there. And then on the other side. At this point, your front panel is now loose. What we're going to do is we're going to be tipping the machine over to remove the bottom 4 screws so we can get the entire panel that wraps around off the machine. So before I tip this over, I'm actually going to close up my steam wand, so when I tip this over, we don't get any leaking. I can put a towel down. And then we'll just lay the machine on its side there. And again, using your 3mm Allen wrench, we're going to remove the 4 bottom screws that hold this entire panel in place. It's a single piece that wraps around 3 sides of the machine. Now that I have the 4 screws removed, we can put the machine back up on its feet, gently bring it back down. At this point, what I am going to be doing is sliding the machine panels. We're going to be pushing them down. We're going to put a little bit of force on, we're going to start with one side here, and I just push down and I'll hear it release. I'll show you what that looks like on the inside. We're going to do it on the other panel here. Again, I'm pushing from the top. There's going to be a little bit of force, and then it will give. I've loosened up the knob and the bolt again to give me more room to work with here. And at this point, that gives me enough room to get this L-shaped bracket clearing the front panel. And so now I can pull the panel off completely. We'll set this aside. As you can see, there is this bolt that's on the machine, this kind of circular brass-looking piece. That lines up with our pear-shaped cutouts on the panel itself. That force of pushing down is what slides that circular brass piece from this tighter part of the cutout to the larger side, and then at that point we can pull it out of the round brass piece that's on the machine. When you're reassembling, you do the same thing in opposite, where this slides over the brass piece, and then you're giving it some force from the bottom to push that panel back up and lock it into place. At this point, we have the panels off of the machine. If you needed to get into the machine for any troubleshooting or diagnostics beyond some of the simple things that are accessible from the top panel, that's how you would get into the machine. As you can see, once you're inside, it is a pretty compact space, but a nice efficient use of space for a dual boiler machine. That's how you remove the panels on your Profitec Pro 300. For other videos on using your Pro 300, check out the links here. And for more information on our knowledge base, visit us at clivecoffee.com.